Hi guys, so now we go into some elites. We'll start off with the four sort of flavors of Marines that used to be troops and are now elite. But if you take either one of the HQ characters or your Chaos Lord or the Sorcerer, you can have some of these as your troops choices. We'll start with Justin's favorite, the Khorne Berserkers. 105 points for these guys, and there's for 5 of them. They're weapon skill 5, unlike your basic Marine. But otherwise, they're basically the same across the board. So there's BS 4, Strength 4, Toughness 4, 1 Wound, Initiative 4, Attack 1, Leadership 8, and they've Power Armor. Berserker Champion has higher leadership. He's Leadership 9, 2 attacks. He's Weapon Skill 5 as well, though. They come with a bolt pistol and a close combat weapon, all the nice grenades, frag and crack. They're fearless, huzzah! And they've got Furious Charge and the Mark of Khorne, which gives them rage and counterattack, I believe now. You can, like I say, you can have 20 of these guys in a unit. They're 19 points each after you've got your first 5. You can give any of them a Chain Axe. Chain Axe is one of the new weapons. It's basically a close combat weapon that has AP 4. Costs 3 points a man to get them that AP 4.
I don't see it really being worth it because the AP4, who are you really dealing with AP4? Veteran Guardsmen?
Veteran Guardsmen,
Tau,
Necron, Necron Warriors.
Tau. Some of the Eldar stuff, I suppose, isn't bad way for up armor saves, but 3 points a man, I just think lots more.
3 points a man, and if there's 20 of them, that's 60 points for that AP4 across the board.
Don't say it, because you're never going to face enough men that 60, that's 3 attacks each off 20 guys, 60 attacks. You're going to put on a ton of wounds anyway, and most things that have got a 4-up armor saving, they're just going to die.
Well, two of the Berserkers can also take plasma pistols if you want. The Berserker Champion can take all the upgrades that the normal champions can all take. You can also give them the gift of mutation, which you probably don't want to do.
No.
Melt-the-bombs possibly.
Yeah, it's our whole debate with all these champions. How many points do you spend on a champion that has to challenge and die?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the Berserker Champion has to challenge as well.
Yeah.
What melee weapon are you going to give him for his challenge? Is it sword, possibly?
Yeah, just a normal initiative power weapon possibly is your best bet. But then again, I expect him to be dead, so yeah, that's the most I'd spend on him. The Melt-a-Bomb, yes, if you face a Dreadnought or something like that there, but the problem with all these sergeants, it's the same with all this stuff that I'm looking at, is you expect them all to be dead. So as a character comes in there and fights, they can't duck the combat because they have to challenge, have to accept, so
yeah.
The unit is a good unit. 20 Khorne Berserkers, weapon skill 5, Furious Charge and all that business means they're hitting most Marines in 3s, wound them in 3s, 20 guys, 60 attacks. You know, it's handing out a lot of wounds, a lot of hits. You know, they're a good solid combat horde, but I don't know if I'd have them.
Well, the other upgrades they can take an Icon of Wrath. The Icon of Wrath gives them Furious Charge, which they already have, and re-roll their charge range.
Possibly worth the Icon of Wrath because these guys are really going to fight just to get that re-roll your charge range. For fear, you end up having to charge 4 inches and you roll a 2 and a 1.
Yeah.
Which
let's see. You can give them Veterans of the Long War as well, so they can take leadership upgrade, but they're already fearless.
So pointless.
Right.
Well, the Veterans of the Long War, not pointless. It gives them hatred, so re-roll them attacks in the first round of combat. Against Space Marines, which you're probably going to be playing against. So yes,
if you're in a tournament, you're probably going to fight Space Marines eventually. Yeah. And if you're playing your mates, you probably know who's got Space Marines and who doesn't.
So you want that icon. Yeah. You could come with 2 army lists, one with slightly more guys without the icon, and one with slightly less guys.
Yeah.
But they're reasonable combat, bog standard Marine, basically.
That's it.
With better weapon skills, the main thing.
Yeah. Thousand Sons of the Zench Marines. These guys are the same as Marines across the board, except they've leadership 10 this time.
Yeah.
They have power armor, they have bolt guns, bolt pistol, and a force weapon on the aspiring sorcerer because they don't have a champion leader. They have an aspiring sorcerer who's also a level 1 psyker.
So he can take a psychic power.
A psychic power, yeah.
But we're not a huge fan of his second
Well,
power.
yeah, they're
We're
all right.
not. The unit itself, all shades of
Well,
all right.
they've got Aura of Dark Glory, which gives them a
5 up.
5 up, 4 up because they've got a Mark of Zench as well.
Yeah.
So
But they're not doing a lot for you. They're
Or
getting that
Zinch,
mark of
yeah.
Zinch, but really, they're, if you were to take blobs on them, they're good tar pits for big units, like
Yeah.
guys with power weapons. And
yeah,
all.
they get Inferno bolts, so they've got better AP on their bolters.
Yeah.
Fearless again, Mark of Zench, like I said, slow and purposeful, so they're not going anywhere quickly. And they're all veterans of the Long War. These guys, so they come as standard
Yeah.
veterans of the Long War. Here's the big crunch. They're 150 points for 5 of them.
30 points a man for the initial first 5.
Yeah, the next and after that they're 24 points a man.
They're not cheap.
Yeah,
They're not cheap.
They have-
They're not mobile.
yeah. The Aspiring Sorcerer doesn't get half the choices that the
because
other
he's-
guys get. He doesn't get melee weapons. He doesn't get the ranged
he's
weapon choices.
Psyker.
Yeah. So
I was going to say the only thing you do is stick them in a rhino, I suppose, to get them to move, but the rhino will start eating them.
yeah. Well, you can buy the Icon of Flame for them. Icon of Flame adds Soul Blaze to all their attacks, and because they're only armed with bolters and bolt pistols, that's basically all their shots have.
Yeah, I'm
Soul
not
Blaze.
a fan of Soul Blaze though. This Soul Blaze, yes, you may catch fire, but it's not the fierce
No.
inferno of fire. It's just strength 4 AP 5 D3 hits. If it's strength 4 AP 5 6 D6 hits, it would be more like it. But is it worth it really?
No.
No.
Well, let's get on to someone else who it's much easier to see whether they're good or
Yeah.
not, and that's Plague Marines. Plague Marines are 120 points. You get 5 of them. They're same as Marines, except this time they've got toughness 5
Yeah.
and initiative 3, so not that great. But they have power armor, bolt guns, bolt pistols, plague knife. So they're coming with a
Poison,
combat
4+
yeah,
poison,
close combat weapon, which is slightly better, and they're coming on a bolt pistol.
2 attacks.
They have blight grenades, which are defensive grenades, plus they might do something else, and crack grenades. They're fearless, they feel no pain, and they have Mark on Nurgle, which is already included, gives
Yeah.
them toughness 5.
They're all good across the board. Many points are
They
there?
are, well, 120 for 5 of them, and then additional guys cost 24 each.
That's all right. Basically 24 points a man. The initial cost to get your sergeant and whatnot doesn't, or your champion, doesn't really come into it. They're just good across the board. I'm a
Yep.
big fan of them, always have been.
That's it.
They're possibly the best They used to be possibly the best troops in 40k. Now they're
Now
still
they're
a good
elites,
unit.
but if you've got a Nurgle Lord or one of the Nurgle
Yeah.
named champions, you can take them as troops. A couple of them can upgrade to flamers, melta guns, or plasma guns if you want.
They're a good unit for parking on an objective. They were a good unit for parking on an objective. If you take your Nurgle champion, Lord, they're still a good unit for that. But now they're in the elite section. I don't see them being used as often.
Well,
You know, I really don't see them
Yeah.
being used as often. I think the guys with the Nurgle lists are going to be not fluffy as such, but themed more than anything else along the lines of
your
Nurgle.
bog standard Chaos Marines, they're not going to get feel no pain because they don't get that icon, but
Yeah.
they can take the fearless icon.
Yeah.
They can take toughness 5. And it's probably going to end up cheaper than a.
Oh
than
yes,
the-
it's definitely going to end up cheaper,
Marine.
and they are just troops, and you're not having to build your army around
Yeah.
getting these guys as
You're not,
troops.
you're not getting your poison weapon. You're not getting your blight grenades, but
But the poison weapon's only coming in when you're fighting high toughness stuff. It's not coming in the rest of the time.
yeah.
They are good, but my main problem is they're in the elite section. Then you have to build your HQ towards having these guys.
You've got
as
to
troops.
choose an HQ that's going to give you them as
And
well.
you know, I call it attacks, and you may say, "Oh, it's not attacks. I'm building my HQ," but it does. It limits you to a certain degree. It does.
Yeah. They can take an icon of despair, which gives them all fear. I don't know.
No,
Fear's
sit there.
all right.
Marines ignore fear.
Yeah, Marines ignore fear, and let's face it, there's always Marines out there. If you're playing
Yeah.
a tournament, there's always Marines. Probably one of your mates has Marines.
And you know, whenever you look at it, half of all the army books are Marine-based army books. So most of the time you're going to be facing Marines because they're ubiquitous. Everybody has some Marines somewhere.
Yep.
They are.
So, and then they can be veterans of the Long War, and they can be Chaos. You can get Chaos Rhinos and stuff to transport them about if you really wanted to. But basically, those are the guys for setting on your objective. But they're reasonably expensive now.
Yeah,
compared
reasonably
to-
expensive, and they're no longer just guaranteed troops anymore. So all these units, like if we move on, I have Noise Marines here who are good Marines. You know, weapon skill 4, strength 4, toughness 4, 1 wound. Initiative 5 is your big advantage with your Noise Marine.
Yeah, that's because of their Marcus Slanesh.
Yeah, leadership 8 and 9 for the champion. 3 up armor save. What they come with? Power weapon, bolt gun, power weapon, power armor, bolt gun, bolt pistol, frag and crack, fearless, Marcus Slanesh. They can have most of the upgrades as you want. You can close combat weapon for a point. You can swap it out for free. You can buy the Sonic Blaster for 3 points a man, which basically is a bolt gun or bolter that if you stand still, you get to fire 3 shots up to 24 inches, which is good. You know, it's
not bad, yeah.
3 points though. So if you're having a big blob of these, it's not cheap. You can then get the Blast Master, which I am a fan of. I think
that's the big heavy weapon version, isn't it?
It's the heavy weapon version that has 2 different types of shooting. It has the lower strength crap shooting, and then it has the strength 8 AP3 blast shooting, which
is heavy 1, I believe.
Yeah, so. Heavy 1 across the board. Unfortunately, you'll not get 3 shots unless you can bend the rules something.
No.
Unless you can argue with your mates.
It's heavy 1. I remember seeing it.
You can bend the rules, and then your champion has all the upgrades that we've chatted about previously.
The siren, there's a...
Yeah, you can take the Doom Siren. The champion can take a Doom Siren, Melt a Bomb, Icon of Excess. Doom Siren's is that template. AP3 template, which is all fine. And it can get the range. The champion can get the range weapons and the melee weapons. Again, spending lots of points on your champion, is it going to do it for you?
Would it be fair to say, Darryl, that these guys here, they've lost a bit of their shininess now? They're not troops anymore.
The pain of not being troops is a big downside for you. Whenever the thing is, guys, if you're building your army and you're going, I want X Lord. You go, well, then I can possibly have these guys as troops. Mm-hmm. But whenever you're going, I want these guys as troops, and I'm having to build a Lord to suit it, they've just lost their shininess for me. I used to think that these were the best troops in the game that was here, and they're not. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, because there are loads in the Elite section, we'll split this video up a bit, and we'll come back in a minute after we've had a break.
Right, guys, back for the second half, and we're going to look at our old chosen brethren, who are basically your champions that can buy all the upgrades they could possibly want. They don't come with a mark.
Better versions of the existing Marines, isn't it?
Yeah, they're basically the existing Marines, but they're sergeants. They've all got 2 attacks. Leadership 9. You've got access to all sorts of different weapons: power weapons, lightning claws, plasma guns. All of it.
If I remember, you can have up to 4, maybe even 5 guys in a unit. They can have like flamers or plasmas, or meltas or whatever.
Yeah, they've all got it. They're coming in at 18 points a man. They're 90 points for the original 5, and you can get all your marks. And they're basically your build your own elites, but they're not going to be cheap.
No, they're not.
They're not going to be cheap. By the time if you start off with the bog standard stats at 18 points, that's fine. Then once you start adding in things, flamers are cheap at 5 points, but it's not going to be cheap once you start adding in plasma guns, las cannons,
and marks and
icons. Your sergeant they're all basically sergeants, so they all come with power armor, bolt gun, bolt pistol, close combat weapons. So they're all coming in with 4 attacks on the charge, 2 normally, plus 1 for the weapons, plus 1 for the charge. They're all right, but they're not. They're the guys that I would probably end up working on for my elites if I wasn't going to go with the likes of Terminators, because you can build your own unit. But the problem I find with these sort of units is you can build your own, you can make them epically good, but they're still a 1 wound guy with 3 up armor save.
Yeah, and they're going to be expensive too.
Yeah,
once you start
they're going to be
hideous
expensive.
The other unit, you know, would have been really cool with those. Actually, see if Abaddon had made them troops, it would have been really good. One cool unit of them as part of your troops would have been
Yeah,
great.
because-
Why Games Workshop? Why?
And you also want a drop pod to put them on to land on the
Let's say
side
they
of the
don't drop
army.
pods, don't they, across the board?
The other one we've got left is our possessed Marines. 130 points for 5 of them is the first thing I look at. They're all strength 5, toughness 4, 2 attacks. All the rest of the stats are pretty much Marine. Leadership 9. They have a new chart. It used to be a D6 chart. Now it's a D3 chart. You can get +1 attack, I believe it is. You can get AP3 close combat weapons, and you can get +1. You can get other +1s as well. They're not great. I know. I don't see the point of them. You can't predict what they're going to have. They're all a bit soft. You know, they've got fleet. They've got demon. They've got fearless.
It's a 5 up and vulnerable save.
You know.
What upgrades can they buy? Anything?
They can buy the marks and they can buy the icons, but they can't buy upgrades because you're under that magic chart in your on your page, and you have to roll to start each round, I believe.
Well, I mean, I think the problem that they have is that they're taking up. They're in the elite section where there's an awful lot of stuff for chaos.
It's hard to jump out of this elite section. All of it is of a certain standard that's good, but just good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, somebody has to be the best, and I think it's these guys. The Chaos Terminators in the elite section are probably the best elites that they've got. They're just like bog standard Terminators. They're 95 points for 3 of them. You can add up to 7 more, 32 points each. They all come with a power weapon and the combi bolter, which is just a twin-link bolter, basically. But they're relentless, of course, so that doesn't matter so much. But the fact that they've got a power weapon to start with means that you can choose an axe for them. If I remember rightly, I think the kit comes with a good couple of axes in the box as well.
Yeah, so you can give them all AP2 for free. You know, it's not costing you anything. And they've got access to all the other weapon upgrades you could want.
Yeah, they can buy lightning claws, they can buy power fists, they can buy chain fists.
Yeah. They can buy combi weapons.
Yeah.
They're just, the thing is, they're starting off at, you know, the same-ish sort of points as possessed and things like that there, but they're just better. 2 up save, they're Terminators, they're just good all across the board.
Yeah.
I just like them so much.
You can give them their marks, of course, as well, so they can have Mark of Corn, Mark of Zench, Mark of Slanesh. They give them initiative 5.
Initiative 5 Terminators.
Power weapons, but if you're going to go in with axes, of course, it's not much use.
So if I was going with axes, it'd probably be Nurgle. So toughness 5.
Toughness 5.
2 up armor save, AP2 close combat weapon. So unless you're going up against Storm Shield, Thunderhammer, or Powerfist type guys, you're set. You know, against
Mark of Corn, of course, gives you rage too. So counter attack with your axe.
It's all right. It is, but they are the best thing at Senate.
Or you can have your Mark of Zench, you see, and get a 4 up and vulnerable save at that point.
I don't know, because getting hosed by bolter fire, it doesn't really do it for you. For me, the toughness 5 possibly works. In most situations, better. The 4 up and vulnerable save will work against the Storm Shield Thunderhammer guys. Yeah. Possibly.
And then, of course, you get your choice of icons as well. So you've got your icon of vengeance to make you fearless. If you want, you can even have for 40 points. If you've got your Mark of Slanesh, you can have your Feel No Pain. If you're really, really keen, but it starts getting expensive at that 40 points for that.
Well, if you're going to have a blob of 10, it's coming in at what, 5 points a guy, 4 and a bit points a guy.
Yeah, but you've already taken Mark of Slanesh at that point, which means that you really don't want to have axes at that point.
No.
Because your +1 initiative is wasted.
No, Nurgle Terminators, guys.
Nurgle Terminators.
If you're going with an axe, I don't see any better mark for you than being Nurgle. You know, really the icon of vengeance to be fearless, because it's all the whole pain in this is your combat guys cannot afford to be losing rounds of combat and running away. And yes, you can make them veterans of the Long War and things like that there.
It's 3 points a man, though, for veterans of the Long War when it comes to
10
Terminators
guys,
instead of
30
1
points.
for the other guys.
How much is the vengeance icon?
35.
It's better than veterans of the Long War at this point, because there's no downside these days to being fearless. No downside at all. So the Terminators are just good. They're just good. Or just very good compared to everybody else.
So next up then is your favourite, Darrell the Hellbrute. 105 points for weapon skill 4, BS 4, strength 6, front armour and side armour 12, 10 on the back. Initiative 4, 2 attacks, and 3 hull points. It's got a multi-melta and a power fist as standard. It's now crazy or
Crazy.
crazed as its
Crazy.
special rule.
Yep, which is not good for you guys. It's
Yeah,
not good.
yeah. It's got some choices. It can have an additional power fist if you swap out its multi-melta, twin-linked heavy bolters, Reaper autocannon, plasma cannon, twin-linked las cannon.
It's basically just your dreadnought. It's
a
105
dreadnought,
points. Possibly switching out for the second power fist close combat weapon is possibly your best way to go. It's hard because it's guys, it's basically just a dreadnought. It can't take combat against anybody who's out there to fight. It's bad. It's one good thing against all the others.
You can buy a heavy flamer upgrade for it for 15.
Yeah.
You're starting to at 105 points. It's all right for its points.
Yeah.
But at what point do you start going? Start getting expensive for what's a liability? If it was 13 armor in the front, it'd be great.
That or 3 Terminators with combi weapons.
Yeah.
There's only one winner there.
Yeah. Of course, the crazed special rule is particularly good if you get a glancing hit against it.
Yeah.
He gets to roll on a special chart where number 1 is immobilized.
Yeah.
You might be able to shoot and all, but if you get immobilized in close combat, then that's not much good to you.
Or else you go crazy and shoot at the person who just shot you with double the amount of shots. But anybody with any sense will go, I'm shooting you from outside the range of your multi-melta. So shoot a dare there, please.
Yeah, I mean, at which point you can buy longer range shooting on it. 5 points will get you a Reaper autocannon.
But I don't know. It's a bit wishy-washy. You can't get 2 Reaper autocannons just to make it a rifleman type dreadnought. It just doesn't do it, guys. It can have a thunderhammer. It's the only model can have a thunderhammer. You will see lots of these about because people got them in the starter box sets. I still have one to trade away if anybody's got some good to swap for it. But I don't see any great use for them. If you can come up with a particularly good use for it, put that comment below and you might get a free one from me.
You can give it a missile launcher. You can replace one of your power fists with a missile launcher. I don't know. All across the board, it just seems very, very average. It does.
Yeah.
If it was
if
it had 13 armor in the front, you'd be looking at it going 105 points. Oh, that's
all
not
these.
So bad.
13 armor at the front and 2 power fists. You go, I'm basically an ironclad dreadnought. I'm coming over here to hand out some pain. Hello, Mr. Marine.
That's it. If it could take a mark on Nurgle or something and improve its armor.
Probably rot its armor if it Nurgle.
That's it. All right, then the last guys that we have are the Mutilators, who of course are new. They're the close combat versions of Obliterators, as far as I know.
Yeah.
55 points a man.
And they've upgrades that they really need to buy.
Yeah, they've flesh metal, so that's 2 up armor save. They're other than that, they're across the board. They're Marines with 2 wounds. They've leadership 8.
2.
Bulky, they're demons, so it's a 5 up and vulnerable as well. They get deep strike. They have mutilator weapons, and they're slow and purposeful. Mutilator weapons basically gives them a choice of practically all the
power
weapons, or chain fist, even power fist.
Chain fist.
Two of all the time. So.
You get power mauls, you get power axes, you get lightning claws, swords, chain fists, but you can't use the same. It is only a lesser. It's a less of a downside for these than it is for Obliterators that you can't use the same weapon twice in a row. But for me, it would either be chain fist or lightning claws.
Yeah.
There is a corner case argument for some of the other weapons, but it's only really a small argument for some of the other weapons.
Yeah.
It would be chain fist, lightning claw, chain fist, or lightning claw. If you are fighting against guys, where you want to go at the same time, it would be lightning claw, swords, lightning claw, swords all the time. They start off at 55
against Marines, anyway.
Yeah, be lightning claw, sword, lightning claw, sword. If you don't want to be going last.
It's chain fist, then power fist, chain fist, power fist.
Yeah, chain fist, power fist, or axe, or what? But it's 55 points. Then I think you really need to buy Veterans of the Long War.
Yeah, 4 points for that,
and possibly a mark on Nurgle to try and stop it getting las cannon to death.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's heading on for closer to 65 points than it is to 55, and it's I don't know. It will do a job for you You have to be careful with them. They will fight reasonably well. You don't want to come up against Grey Knights because they'll force you to death all across the board.
You know,
if you are going to go all combat, they're possibly your best elites for all combat, but 65 points.
Slow and purposeful as well. That's the point at which you fluff your roll for the charge, and then
fluff your roll for your move. You're only guaranteed to move 2 inches a turn with a move and a run. You're only guaranteed 2 inches, and beyond that is odds. But I don't know, guys. If sit there. If they'd been beasts and fleet, you would go.
If they were fast,
Yeah. I can see a real good use for you. You're still not you're still not the best thing ever, but I can see a good use for you. Slow and purposeful. Did they really want to nerf their new models?
I don't know.
Did they really?
I don't know what I'm looking at. I mean, because the Chaos Terminators are just better.
That's what I was about to say. You get 2 Terminators by the time you buy them, their upgrades for the same price as one of them. Yeah. You do.
And then your Terminator's just coming with an axe.
Terminator's just coming with a free axe. Free axe and free axe and possibly a combi plasma too. Yeah. Guys, if you are going to build Terminators, free axe and a combi plasma, hands out some serious pain.
What I have to say though is, for all you guys out there who already play Chaos, you've probably already got Chaos Terminators.
Yeah.
And you're lucky you, because they're really good.
Yeah.
So you've got your elites already sorted out. Sure.
Can all the Terminators buy melter bombs, or is it just 1 or 2 guys?
Melt this.
All you want's a couple of melter bombs in there if you can buy them.
No, they can't buy melter bombs, but they'll come with. Or they can both buy Power Fists for like 7 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can all buy Chain Fists for 12.
Yeah. All you need is a couple of guys in there with Chain Fists, and the rest of the guys with your free axe and your combi plasma to go. Does anybody fancy fighting me? Who's going to walk across that bit of no man's land to get to me?
Yeah.
Nobody, because I have fielded it, and these guys tell you, armies full of Terminators with combi plasmas.
It's fierce.
It's ridiculously, and guys, it just works across the board for us. In the entire elite section, all the name Marines are all nice and fine, but they're nice. The Terminators is what you can do all your funky stuff with. Yeah. They can deep strike.
Yeah, the combi plasma axe Chaos Terminator. He's your
guys. You deal with that. Even the Storm Shield Thunderhammer guys. 10 of them.
10 of them dropping rapid fire and plasma when they turn they appear.
Ask our Justin about his Blood Angel ones. Never my 10 combi plasma guys killed 8 of his, including the Sanguinary Priest and the Librarian, with 1 round of shooting.
That was brutal.
I beat the odds there, but it's a great build for your Terminators. You could argue you need some meltas in there and things. Yeah, you could do, but combi plasmas rule the house.
You could do, but what you do is if you have 2 units, one with meltas and the other one with plasmas, and then you see which one you want to drop.
Exactly.
I'm going to try and drop these guys nearby.
Guys, for us, the Terminators all day long. The Terminators are easy. You can even get them new Terminators that are starter box that cut the arms off and chaos them up. Chaos them up all across the board. But Terminators all day is your elite choice.
Well, guys, there you go. That's the elite section. If you disagree and you think that we should be looking at elsewhere and not at Chaos Terminators, or that the Hellbrute is amazing, then drop some comments below and tell us. Same goes for all the new elites. Well, let's call them new elites. They used to be your great troops. Now they're your average elites.
Promoted to elite. Yeah, great troops, average elite.
Yeah. Tell us about those. Tell us what you think. Are you going to put them into your army with your huge Nurgle army, no doubt?
If somebody can come up with a great use for a Hellbrute, I'm going to send you my Hellbrute. You're getting it, the one that came out of my starter box set.
There you go. There's an offer. You can't refuse. All right, guys, we'll get on and have a look at some more of the Chaos stuff.